The service provider will resume deployment of security guards today, 7 January 2025 at 1800 hours, at the very stations that the chair was engaging you on. So you gave an instruction that the deployment will happen from that day. So for you to come to this commission and say, I never gave an instruction to deploy because my subordinates had to do due diligence first, that is untruthful. Because that is your email where you say deployment will happen today at 1800 hours. Do you see that? We are on page 60, Director Malatji.
I am on page 60.
And do you see that in your email you said deployment to these 3 sites, to these 2 sites, was to commence at 1800 hours on that day?
Yes, it is my...
So you did authorize those deployments, and when Mr. Piri issued letters in respect of these 2 sites, it was because you had authorized these deployments.
No, they, Commissioner, they, I admit I issued instruction, and if you look at the subject on my email, right, it talks to GL account for security services, Klapperkop, Brickfields pump stations, as listed here below, right? Without even, if you go to page 61, Herman Seholela, right? GL account for security services, right? He indicates, hi Gary, so I agree with your suggestion to utilize job in GL. It is the one relevant for this purpose. Colleagues, the GL and cost center for the security are as follows. In as far as deployment of Klapperkop and Brickfield substations, they are concerned, there are 3. The department here has complied fully with the SOP that I alluded to earlier on. Hence, my instruction, right, said the deployment will commence, right, at 18 hours. So, as the Commissioner.
But Mr. Malatji, on page 52, Chair was engaging you on the same Klapperkop water pump station. And when Chair was engaging you, you said you never gave instruction for deployment.
No.
Mr. Malatji, go to page 52 and see what 52 deals with.
I am on page 52.
Do you see that it deals with Klapperkop? Today, I've just received a bad report that Klapperkop water station has been badly vandalized during the festivities. That's what the chairperson was engaging you on. It continues on 53. Mr. Malatji, kindly confirm when we may be able to deploy security, as the sites are vulnerable to further vandalism. That's the very email Chair was engaging you on. And when he asked you, in the face of this and in the face of the request for deployment, what did you do? You said, I never gave an instruction to deploy because, 1, there should have been due diligence. 2, there should have been a determination of the duration of the deployment. Yet, on page 60, before those things are done, there's no due diligence, there's no determination of how long the deployment is going to be. You authorized the deployment. And arising from this email, Mr. Piri issued letters of deployment to these sites. So for you to sit there and say, I did not authorize this, I was still waiting for my team to do a deployment and to assess how long the deployment is going to be. Sorry, the due diligence and how long the deployment is going to be. It's simply false.
I think my response was I responded not being aware of the email on page 60, right? So
So your evidence changes when you see documents. It's not the truth. You will change it as and when you see documents or as and when you become aware of documents.
not necessarily, Commissioner. I think the Commission must take note of the fact that we are dealing with quite a number of issues here, right? Sometimes it might happen that when I'm exposed to what actually has happened, right, that would touch on on the evidence that I'm doing. But in this instance, right, I'm exposed to the evidence. Yes, due diligence to a very large extent was done. Confirmation has been made by the department. Hence, I issued an instruction, right, to say deploy on Klapperkop, deploy on Brickfield substation, as per the scope of work that I've done.
Let me tell you what then happened after this, after you instructed that there be a deployment. The same water and sanitation went to Piri because you said Piri must run with the process. If you go to page 50 of the same bundle, and the email to which that attachment relates is on page 44. And you were copied on this. It's 9 January 2025.
Yes.
It says, "Good day, Mr. Malatji. Attached find the updated list of security deployment needs." So they were saying in addition to the two, there are these additional sites. Where you find those additional sites is on page 50.
Okay.
And letters were then issued because you had already authorized deployment on the basis that there was vandalism. Letters were then issued that there should be security on these sites as well. That's what happened. And you were copied, so you can't say, I did not know, I was not aware, because these emails are all sent to you. You can see that the email on page 44 is sent to you.
I hear you, Commissioner.
Yes. Now I want to ask you about the January invoices, because we know that these sites, the additional sites, were added. In February, when Gubis invoiced for the ad hoc services in January, did you sign those invoices? Because the January invoices would have been issued sometime in February, either in the middle part on the 10th or later in February. But we do know that at the end of January, Gubis would have been entitled to invoice. Did you sign and authorize those invoices in February?
I wouldn't say yes or no unless.
No, Mr. Malatji.
Commissioner, can I please be given
Please explain. Yes.
opportunity to explain? I wouldn't say yes or no unless, without having to say this is how the Commission should direct questions to me, right? Unless I'm exposed to those emails that I've signed, and questions are based on something that I am seeing, right? Probing me on something that I am seeing. But now, just for the Commission to expect me to some thug responses, I don't think it is fair. That is why, as we move on, I would always be accused of not answering properly. But the bottom line is, I should be exposed to the evidence. And yes, as we move on, right, you allow me an opportunity to explain where it is necessary to explain. But under the circumstances, I feel like I'm being ambushed, you see? So, which...
Are you saying, Director, you may have, but you do not recall? Is that the long and short of what you are saying?
Exactly, Commissioner.
There's a reason why I'm asking you this question, Director Malatji. You see, you told this commission that you were not